Happy Monday. Phil Lindemann with your midday news on Krystal 93. A glitch in the system is throwing off tunnel numbers from the weekend. For 2 hours Friday night and 1 hour Saturday morning, the automatic counter at the Eisenhower Johnson tunnels did not record any vehicles. Including that glitch, just under 133,000 cars traveled the corridor in 3 days. That's about 1% slower than last weekend, just about equal to the difference from the glitch. But it is nearly 6% slower than the same weekend last year, when fall colors were already in full effect. The colors are running about a week late this year. A Colorado snowboarding legend, Adam Merriman, died riding an electric skateboard in Vail last week. Multiple agencies report Merriman hit a crack in the pavement near Red Sandstone Park. His board shattered and he was thrown. He later died of a suspected head injury. He was not wearing a helmet. Summit Rescue Group hit the field twice yesterday, first for a mountain biker with a leg injury near Gold Run, then for a dirt biker with an upper body injury on Tenderfoot. Both were rescued and now recovering. Summit County shooting range is closed starting today for 2 to 3 months of sound mitigation. That work is paid for in part by a state grant and supported by a noise study from last year, inspired by neighbors who complained of deafening noise at offensive hours. A new BBC podcast is upending the accepted version of an infamous eco-terrorist attack in Vail. This from the Vail Daily. A former member of the Earth Liberation Front tells the BBC she and several others lit fire to the Two Elk Lodge in October 1998. Before now, the FBI's version says just one person started that fire. Most of the culprits are now serving time in prison or were recently released, including the BBC's source. That podcast is called Burn Wild.
We got to see the spectacular nature of not only the natural beauty of wild horses in the wild, but their family dynamics and how bonded they are and how intelligent they are. And then we also witnessed the horrors of a real roundup, a real helicopter roundup.
That was Ashley Avis, director of Wild Beauty. The film made its world debut last night at Breck Film Fest, as wild horses across the West are still being rounded up using what she calls cruel and profiteering methods.
We're removing wild horses from public land using taxpayer dollars, paying helicopter contractors millions of dollars instead of allowing that wild beauty to exist on public lands, which everybody should be able to enjoy.
Dozens of wild horses recently died of illness near Canyon City after a roundup down south.
We're replacing them with thousands of cattle, thousands of sheep, and wild horses graze very differently than cattle. Cattle and sheep, they really degrade the land. They rip up the grass by the root, where horses act like lawnmowers, and horses are able to coexist with other species.
Avis is still in town, stopping by local elementary schools tomorrow for a talk about wild horses. Local fire danger remains moderate today, with no fire restrictions here in Summit. In sports, the Broncos outlasted the Texans yesterday, 16-9. The Rockies beat the Cubs 4-3. Today, the Rockies faced the Giants at 6:40. Michaela Schifrin and the U.S. Alpine Ski Team were recently in Chile for preseason training. The Moguls team was down in New Zealand. First event of the World Cup season is just over a month away in Solden for Giant Slalom, October 22nd. And in local sports, brought to you by Cassandra Schultz and Associates with American Family in Dillon, Lady Tigers volleyball lost to Steamboat Saturday 3-1. Summit cross-country star Ella Hagan took second at the St. Brain meet in Lyons over the weekend. She took the girls' team to 12th. Dom Ramikes was fastest for the boys in 16th. The boys' team took 17th. Today is regionals for the Tigers golf team. They're playing at Eagle Ranch Golf Course. Saturday was Run The Rockies Road 10K and half marathon from Copper to Frisco, where Josh Davis of Lamar won the 10K. Marquetta Murray took the women's crown. Andrew Warschauer won the half marathon in a blazing fast 1 hour, 17 minutes, 49 seconds. That's under 6 minutes per mile. Danielle Vail won the women's half in a pace of about 7 minutes per mile. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.